What if I told you that some of the most unbelievable places on Earth look so fake that Americans regularly assume they are CGI? Movie sets, or Google Earth glitches, places that look edited, enhanced, or completely impossible, yet they exist naturally, right now on this planet. And in this 2026 guide, we about to see 7 places on Earth that don't feel real at all. Locations so visually insane that even experienced travelers say they feel like walking inside a movie scene rather than the real world. Imagine flying into a remote part of China and suddenly standing in front of mountains that look like they were painted by hand using impossible colors. This is Zhangye, Danxia, where massive rolling hills stretch endlessly across the landscape in layers of deep red, bright orange, yellow, pink, and brown, forming giant rainbow-striped mountains created entirely by natural mineral deposits over millions of years. As sunlight moves across the sky, these colors shift and glow, becoming more intense, more dramatic, and more unreal, while sharp ridges carve dark shadows into the slopes, making the entire landscape look like high-end CGI rather than nature. Wooden walkways curve through the terrain, distant hills blur into atmospheric haze, and the dry desert air feels still and warm as visitors stand quietly, staring in disbelief, because no photo, no drone shot, and no screen prepares you for seeing colors this bold spread across real mountains. Walking here feels like stepping inside a digital render because every angle looks fake, every turn reveals new color patterns, and your brain constantly tries to reject what your eyes are seeing, making Zhangye, Danxia one of the most visually shocking landscapes on Earth. Now imagine a place so extreme that NASA has used it to test equipment. A place so flat, so reflective, and so massive that it breaks your sense of space completely. This is Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia, the largest salt flat on the planet. Stretching over thousands of square miles, this endless white surface becomes something even more unreal during the rainy season, when a thin layer of water turns it into the world's largest natural mirror. The ground reflects the sky perfectly, copying clouds, sunlight, and distant mountains with such precision that the horizon disappears, making it impossible to tell where Earth ends and the sky begins. Standing here feels like floating through space because there is no visible depth, no reference point, and no normal sense of distance. Cars appear to hover, people look unrealistically small, and every movement feels exaggerated against the endless reflection. The silence is overwhelming, broken only by wind sliding across the surface, creating a feeling so surreal that many visitors say it feels like walking through a glitch in reality, a place that looks edited even while you are standing inside it. From a mirror world, reality bends again inside the forests of Croatia at Plitvice Lakes National Park. A location that looks like it was designed by a fantasy movie studio. Bright turquoise and emerald lakes cascade into one another through dozens of waterfalls, each flowing into the next with perfect symmetry. Wooden boardwalks float just above crystal-clear water so transparent that fish glide beneath your feet in sharp detail. Sunlight filters through tall trees, hits mist rising from crashing waterfalls, and scatters into glowing particles that make the air itself look unreal. The sound of flowing water echoes constantly, surrounding you in a calm but surreal atmosphere that feels carefully constructed rather than naturally formed. As you move deeper into the park, the water changes color depending on depth, and light reflections ripple across the surface and waterfalls appear unexpectedly around every corner, making it feel like you've stepped into a real-life video game environment designed to overwhelm your senses with beauty. When the sun goes down, some places become even harder to believe. And on certain beaches in the Maldives, nighttime turns the ocean into something straight out of science fiction. As darkness settles, gentle waves roll onto soft white sand and begin glowing electric blue, caused by bioluminescent organisms reacting to movement in the water. Every step you take lights up beneath your feet, leaving glowing trails behind you. Waves crash and sparkle like neon ribbons, and the ocean surface shimmers like stars scattered across black water. The warm tropical air feels still, the sound of the waves feels distant, and the glowing sea looks alive, responsive, and almost intelligent. Standing there feels unreal because water simply is not supposed to glow, yet the entire shoreline pulses with light, turning a peaceful beach into one of the most visually shocking nighttime scenes on Earth, a moment that feels closer to an alien planet than a vacation destination. In Turkey, reality softens in a different way inside the landscape of Cappadocia, a place that looks sculpted by imagination rather than geology. Towering rock formations rise from the valleys like stone towers, carved over time into cones, chimneys, and spires that stretch upward toward the sky. Ancient cave homes and churches are carved directly into the rock, blending seamlessly into the landscape. At sunrise, the sky slowly fills with hundreds of colorful hot air balloons lifting gently into the air, floating silently above the rugged terrain below. Soft, golden light washes across the valleys. Shadows stretch across the stone, and the quiet sound of burners breaking the morning silence creates one of the most cinematic scenes on Earth. Watching balloons drift higher against pastel skies while ancient rock formations glow beneath them feels unreal. Like gravity has been temporarily turned off, freezing the entire landscape in a perfect, dreamlike moment. Far north in the Atlantic Ocean, the Faroe Islands challenge reality through raw, untamed beauty that feels untouched by time. Massive green cliffs plunge straight into dark blue waters, powerful waves crash against jagged rocks, and waterfalls spill directly into the ocean without warning. Thick mist rolls across mountains, clouds race overhead, and weather changes constantly, reshaping the mood and lighting of the landscape every few minutes. Small villages with grass-covered roofs cling to hillsides, narrow roads wind through open fields. Sheep graze freely near cliff edges, and strong ocean winds carry the scent of salt through the air. Standing on these cliffs feels unreal because the scenery never settles into one image, constantly shifting between fog, sunlight, and shadow, making the islands feel alive, unpredictable, and completely disconnected from modern life, like a place where nature still makes all the rules. Hidden beneath the deserts of the United States lies one of the most surreal natural formations in North America. Antelope Canyon, a narrow slot canyon carved slowly by flash floods over thousands of years. Smooth sandstone walls twist and curve like flowing fabric, glowing in deep shades of orange, red, and purple as beams of sunlight pierce through narrow openings above. These light beams shift gradually throughout the day, painting moving patterns across the canyon floor, while fine sand drifts through the air, softening sound and light. Walking through the canyon feels intimate and unreal, like being inside a living sculpture made entirely of color, shadow, and motion, where every step reveals new shapes that seem to move as you do, making it nearly impossible to believe this place exists naturally on American soil. What makes these places truly unforgettable isn't just how insane they look on camera, but how they completely alter your perception once you're there. The overwhelming silence and endless scale of the salt flats, the nonstop movement and sparkle of waterfalls in dense forests, the glowing ocean under a dark sky, the weightless calm of floating balloons at sunrise, the raw power of cliffs facing the Atlantic, and the shifting light inside a hidden canyon all combine to create experiences that feel more like dreams than destinations. These places don't just look unreal, they feel unreal, forcing your brain to constantly question what it's seeing. In 2026, as more Americans search for travel experiences that feel unique, cinematic, and worth remembering, these destinations stand out as proof that Earth is far stranger and more impressive than fiction. They are places that look fake on social media, feel overwhelming in real life, and stay burned into memory long after you leave. These locations remind us that you don't need CGI, filters, or special effects to experience something unbelievable, because nature has already created scenes more shocking than anything humans could design. If you want more places that look fake but are completely real, more cinematic travel discoveries, and more destinations that don't feel like Earth at all, make sure to subscribe now and keep exploring the world before these places stop feeling unreal.